There's this weird little moment that happens to a lot of people late at night. You're lying in bed, the room is dark, your phone is way too close to your face, and you're not even looking for anything anymore. You're just scrolling, thumb moving, brain half shut down. And then, almost without thinking, you open your banking app. Not because something is wrong, not because you're paying a bill, just because some part of you wants to check. And the number loads. And it's not terrible. It's not zero. You're not in crisis, but it's familiar. It looks like it's looked for a long time. And you start doing that quiet mental math that nobody talks about out loud. If I could just save a little more, if I could just get ahead a little, if I could stop feeling like one weird expense would knock me sideways. You think about how long you've been working, how many months, how many years, and how strange it feels that your life has clearly been moving, but your money kind of hasn't. I've had that moment. A lot. Honestly, I still do sometimes. My name is Ben, and I spend way too much time thinking about money, human behavior, and why some people quietly build wealth without ever seeming rich, while others feel like they're constantly sprinting just to stay in the same place. I'm kind of obsessed with the invisible stuff, the boring stuff, the tiny decisions that don't feel powerful while you're making them, but somehow shape entire financial futures. Because almost nobody builds $100 off some big dramatic moment. Not a lottery win. Not a Cerrito miracle. Not waking up one day and finally getting disciplined. Most of the time it happens in the background, while life is happening, while you're busy, while you're worried about completely different things. It's built out of habits that cost about $10 a day, sometimes less, sometimes nothing. They don't feel like wealth habits. They don't feel impressive. They don't come with cinematic music. They feel like normal person behaviors. Slightly boring. Slightly unsexy, the kind of things you'd never brag about. But they quietly tilt the direction your money is facing. And once money leans a certain way long enough, it doesn't really need motivation anymore. It just moves. A lot of us are trained to associate spending with relief, with reward, with I made it through today, coffee, delivery, a little treat, a little upgrade, a little why not. And honestly, I get it. Brains get tired. Dopamine is persuasive. Comfort feels earned. But one of the quietest habits that builds real money is redirecting a small, almost laughably small amount away from comfort and toward ownership. Not someday. Not when you make more. Now. Small, automatic, unimpressive. $10. $10 that doesn't disappear but stays your money. $10 that goes somewhere it can grow instead of somewhere it can be forgotten. The first time I did this, it honestly felt pointless. Like I was pretending to be responsible. Like I was playing investor. I remember looking at my account thinking, what is this? What is this actually going to do? But that's the wrong question. The real shift isn't what $10 does. It's what happens to you when you start practicing being someone who buys future freedom before present comfort. Because every time you move money into something that can grow, you're rehearsing a different identity. You're telling your nervous system, we don't need all of this right now. You're proving to yourself that your money doesn't only exist to soothe you, and that quietly changes how you make decisions everywhere else. The math is boring, but it's ruthless. $10 a day is about $300 a month. Invested consistently, over time, even at pretty average returns, that number quietly crosses $100,000, often much more. But what matters more than the final number is what happens halfway there. One day you realize something strange. Your money did something without you. And once you feel that once, you never see small amounts the same way again. Another habit that almost nobody talks about is simply forcing all your money to live in one place where you can't lie to yourself. Most people do not know where their money goes. They have vibes. They have general theories. Probably food. Definitely rent. Somehow subscriptions. But not knowing is expensive, because when money is scattered across cards, apps, and half-remembered accounts, your brain fills in the gaps with optimism. It assumes you're not that bad. It assumes things are mostly under control. And that assumption leaks money quietly, constantly. One of the most powerful under $10 habits is choosing a single place where all your spending shows up. One dashboard. One app. One ugly mirror. The first time you really look, it's uncomfortable. You see patterns you don't remember choosing. Little charges that never felt like decisions. Convenience fees. Random food. Tiny purchases that somehow add up to a second rent payment. But here's why this matters. You can't change what you only vaguely sense. But the moment you can see your money clearly, your behavior starts adjusting without motivation. You don't need to budget harder. You just start pausing, and that pause is where wealth lives. Because every dollar you don't accidentally spend becomes a dollar that can quietly work for you instead. Another $10 habit that builds six figures over time is the habit of buying back your attention. We underestimate how expensive distraction is. Not emotionally, financially, every impulse purchase starts as a moment of unregulated attention. A scroll, a walk past something, a bad day, a bored night, a notification, and money follows attention almost automatically. People think wealth is about income. It's not. It's about what your attention is trained to notice. Spending $10 a day to reduce friction around good decisions is wildly underrated. Better food at home, ad-free tools, books, education, a gym you actually go to, a workspace that doesn't make you want to escape your life every 20 minutes. These things don't look like money habits. They look like lifestyle choices, but they quietly reduce the number of moments where your brain goes, I need a hit. And fewer hits means fewer leaks, which means more ownership, which means a very different future. Another habit that builds serious money is almost laughably simple: walking. Not for fitness, for money. Walking replaces convenience spending. Walking replaces stress spending. Walking replaces boredom spending. Walking gives your nervous system motion without transactions. Some of my most expensive days were days I didn't move, stuck, inside, screen heavy, restless. That's when money leaks. Food orders, random buys, digital wandering. Walking interrupts that. It gives your brain something to do that isn't consumed. And over years, that difference is massive. Another habit is practicing delayed upgrades. Not to deprivation, not to never. Just later. Most people upgrade life the moment they can. Slightly more money means slightly more car, slightly more apartment, slightly more monthly obligations. And then they wonder why nothing changes. A quiet wealth habit is letting income rise while lifestyle lags. Just a little. Just enough that money starts accumulating without effort. That gap is where $100,000 lives. Not in extreme frugality, in unsexy patience. Another $10 habit is paying to make saving invisible. Automatic transfers, automatic investments, accounts you don't see, barriers between you and easy access. Wealth grows fastest when it's boring, when it doesn't feel like a choice, when it leaves before your emotions get involved. The goal is not discipline. The goal is architecture. Because if your system is good, your mood barely matters. Another habit is learning the language of money slowly, casually, without pressure. $10 on a book, a podcast on walks, one concept at a time. Most people never build wealth because money always feels like a crisis subject, something you only look at when something's wrong. But wealthy people normalize it. They make it a background topic. And backgrounds shape futures. Another quiet habit is tracking your invisible raises, the money you no longer spend because your habits changed, the subscriptions you canceled, the interest you stopped paying, the convenience you outgrew. That money is income. And when you redirect it instead of absorbing it into lifestyle, you compound your progress without changing your life. Another is learning to enjoy watching numbers grow. This sounds small, but it's huge. Most people emotionally enjoy spending. Wealthy people emotionally enjoy ownership. They like watching balances change. They like seeing progress. They like the feeling of accumulation. And enjoyment drives behavior far more than logic ever will. Somewhere along the way, $100 stops feeling like money. It starts feeling like stability, like options, like time. And that feeling quietly changes every decision you make. And here's the strange part. When people finally cross that kind of number, they rarely talk about the investments. They talk about how their nervous system changed, how they sleep differently, how choices feel less sharp, how mistakes feel survivable. That's what $10 habits are really buying. Not money, margin. And margin changes lives. If there's a takeaway from all of this, it's not that you need to find more money. It's that you need to start treating small amounts like they're alive, because they are. They grow. They multiply.